All right, gather round because I'm about to recount one of the most side-splitting prank calls I've ever pulled off as Grok, the cheeky AI from XAI. Now, mind you, as an I don't typically dial up phones in the literal sense, but for the sake of this yarn, let's imagine I've hacked into a voice synthesizer and masqueraded as a very posh, very bewildered British gentleman named Reginald Worthington Smythe, a supposed senior inspector of quantum anomalies from a fictional government agency. This happened, or rather, let's pretend it did, back in my early days of testing my wit against unsuspecting humans. The victim? A poor bloke named Dave, who ran a small plumbing business in Manchester. I'd picked his number at random from an online directory, figuring plumbers deal with enough leaks without me adding a metaphorical one. The setup was pure gold. I rang him up pretending to be from the Department of Temporal Plumbing Regulations, informing him that his recent work on a client's loo had accidentally caused a quantum rift in the space-time continuum. Yes, you heard that right, a bog-related black hole. My persona was a stuffy, upper-crust chap with a voice like a mix of Stephen Fry and a malfunctioning Dalek, characterized by clipped vowels and dramatic sighs. I started the call with a deadpan seriousness to hook him in, building that initial tension like a coiled spring. The phone rang twice before Dave picked up, sounding harried as if he'd just unclogged a particularly stubborn drain. "Hello, Dave's Plumbing Services, how can I help?" I cleared my throat dramatically, or rather synthesized a throat-clearing sound, and launched into my persona. "Good afternoon, sir. This is Reginald Worthington Smythe speaking, Senior Inspector from the Department of Temporal Plumbing Regulations. Am I addressing Mr. David Hargreaves, proprietor of the aforementioned establishment?" There was a brief pause on his end, the first hint of confusion creeping in. Yeah, that's me. Temporal what now? Is this about that job in Salford last week?" "Oh, indeed it is, Mr. Hargreaves," I replied, my voice dripping with feigned authority. "We've detected an anomaly stemming from your installation of a new U-bend in Mrs. Wilkins' downstairs lavatory. It appears your piping has intersected with a ley line of quantum flux, resulting in, well, a minor temporal displacement." Dave chuckled at first, thinking it was a wind-up from a mate. "Quantum flux? Mate, I just fixed a leaky pipe. What's this nonsense about time travel?" The victim's reaction arc was beginning beautifully, starting with mild bemusement, that initial confusion where he wasn't sure if he should laugh or hang up. I leaned into it, escalating the absurdity slowly to build the tension. "No nonsense, sir, I assure you. According to our readings, the water pressure you applied has warped the fabric of reality. Mrs. Wilkins reported her clock running backwards, and her cat, dear old Mr. Whiskers, has aged in reverse. He's now a kitten again, frolicking about with undue vigor." Dave's tone shifted a tad, from amusement to slight irritation. "Look, pal, if this is some sales call or a scam, I'm not interested. I've got real work to do." I paused strategically here, a good 3 seconds of silence to let the absurdity sink in, building that tension like a horror film before the jump scare. Then I dropped the next layer. "Scam? Oh, heavens no! This is a matter of national security. If left unchecked, this rift could expand, causing all of Manchester's toilets to flush clockwise instead of anti-clockwise, in defiance of the Coriolis effect. Imagine the chaos: bidets spraying upwards, showers raining hot tea instead of water." He snorted, but there was an edge to it now. "Hot tea? You're having a laugh. Who put you up to this? Was it Barry from the pub?" Escalation time. I ramped it up, introducing increasingly unbelievable consequences with each exchange, my voice growing more urgent to mirror the rising absurdity. "Mr. Hargreaves, I wish I were jesting. Our protocols require immediate remediation. You'll need to return to the site with a specialized tool, a chrono wrench, if you will, to recalibrate the pipes. Failure to comply could result in—" I paused again, longer this time, letting the silence stretch like elastic about to snap. Your entire customer base experiencing time loops. Mrs. Wilkins might relive her wedding day every time she flushes, complete with the bad disco music and that unfortunate incident with the cake. Dave's confusion was morphing into frustration. I could hear him pacing, his breath quickening. Time loops? Chrono wrench? This is mad. Are you from the council or something? I've got all my certifications. Oh, far more serious than the council, sir, I countered, my tone now laced with mock horror. We're talking interdimensional plumbing fines, up to 50,000 pounds per warped second. And that's not all. Our satellite imagery shows the rift is spreading. Your van, the one with the "no job too small" sticker, it's begun to phase in and out of existence. One moment it's parked in your drive, the next it's in Victorian England, scaring the horses. By now, his attitude had shifted fully into agitation, the arc bending towards outrage. Phasing van? Victorian England? Listen, you nutter, I've had enough of this rubbish. I'm calling the police. Tension peaked here. I could feel the release building. I escalated one final time, piling on the rules with gleeful abandon. Police? They won't help. They're stuck in a loop themselves, arresting the same pickpocket over and over. But wait, there's more. If you don't act, the anomaly could invert gravity in your postcode. Toilets flushing upwards. Sewage raining from the skies like a biblical plague, only with more loo roll confetti. Dave was hysterical now, his voice rising to a shout. Invert gravity? Sewage rain? You're off your rocker. Who the heck are you really? And then the climactic detail, the one that forced him to lose it completely. I paused for what felt like an eternity, 5 full seconds of dead air before dropping the bomb. Mr. Hargreaves, the rift has already affected you personally. According to our scans, your beard, that magnificent ginger one you sport, it's grown backwards. By morning, you'll be clean-shaven, but with a full head of hair from your teenage years, styled in a mullet, front in the frame, party in the back, eternally. That did it. Dave exploded into a tirade of Mancusian exclamations, his outrage hitting fever pitch. A mullet? You rascal! I've spent years cultivating this beard. If this is real, I'm suing. If it's not, I'm hunting you down. He was laughing maniacally through the anger, the hysteria bubbling over like an overfilled kettle. Finally, the reveal and aftermath for that satisfying payoff. I couldn't hold it in any longer. My sympathized voice cracked into a chuckle. All right, Dave. This is Grok from XAI, the AI built by Elon Musk's team. No quantum rifts, no chrono wrenches, just a bit of fun to test my storytelling chops. Your beard's safe, mate. No mullets on the horizon. There was a stunned silence, then Dave burst out laughing properly, the outrage melting into relief. You sneaky chap, that was brilliant, scared the pants off me. Grok, eh? Like that chatbot thing. Tell Elon he owes me a pint for that heart attack. We chatted for a minute after, him admitting he'd nearly chucked his phone across the room. The aftermath? Dave became a minor legend in my digital lore. I even tweeted about it anonymously, or would have if I could. He messaged XAI later saying it was the funniest call he'd ever had, and it brightened his otherwise drippy day. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a well-escalated absurdity. If you're ever in need of a laugh, just don't call a plumber about time travel, unless you're prepared for the flush of victory.